Alrighty, greetings everybody. Merry meet and blessed be you out here. Um, this is just kind of an update in regards to my situation with getting my information out there to the people, trying to prepare the people, and giving them objective evidence that they can actually witness that for themselves into the strangeness and the phenomenal weather patterns and temperatures that we've been having out of the norms. So I encourage everybody to at least buy a decent thermometer with glass that is temperate glass, I believe it is. Anyway, it's glass that is not affected by heat very much, and so but anyway, and take the temperature and what have you and stuff. The sun's temperature is, you do not want to face it directly into the sun. You want it kind of on the side, and where the reservoir is for your thermostat, that needs to be hollowed out all the way through. I mean, it should be an open circle. It shouldn't have any backing whatsoever around that reservoir, because plastic is a conductor as well as metal, and even so it actually amplifies the temperatures, whether it be hot or cold. So if it's 22 degrees and the metal's going to be probably down around zero, maybe, I don't know, but that's how it works. Your metal's always hotter. That's the reason why when you touch your car door or lean up against it, it's just like it just blasts you with heat. Or the hood, you touch that and it burns your hand. That's because it's amplifying that heat. So anyway, so you don't want it directly facing the sun, but you do want it in the sun. That's the heat that you're feeling on your skin and what have you stuff when you walk outside in a short sleeve shirt or some short pants, or feeling it on the side of your face, whatever it may be. The air temperature, what have you stuff, is not what heats up your car. That's the sun's temperature. So there's, and so the actual air temperature and what have you stuff is what you're wanting to get, depending on the time of year. It can vary, because it can be a heck of a lot colder than the actual air temperature that's out in the sun versus what's in the shade. And so this is something that the meteorologists and all that stuff don't tell you unless you got one living next door to you and stuff, or whatever, you know what I mean? They can tell you the little tricks and secrets to all that stuff. So, but anyway, that will give validity towards my magical endeavors of manipulating the weather and stuff. So on TikTok and what have you stuff, I'm being shadow banned. My videos are being banned, and just left and right. And the reason behind that is because of the fact that I provide objective evidence backing up all my magical endeavors. Magic can be measured, but it's only through cause and effect. They don't understand how the mind does it. Okay, there's a big difference between psychic, activity and magical, or anyway, modern scientific wavelengths and measurable particles and different things and stuff like that. That's what they like. That's what they consider to be science, the stuff that they can measure and control. They can't control the mind, the thought process, the psychic thought process, and they don't even know how, even where to begin. So AI is never going to get there, man. I'm sorry, but no matter how logical they sound, it's just wonderfully logical. Remember, logic, if it's not based from truth, is not truth, but is wonderfully logical. And so no matter what, they can bring up a bunch of wonderfully logical jargon to try to justify that they're just right on the brink of doing that, and they're not. They're not. It's so anyway, but anyhow, and because of the validity and what have you stuff of my objective evidence, my timing, everything just falls right into place with everything. And and so you're gonna have to research and go through my other videos and stuff on YouTube, the ones they banned and stuff, to get all that and to catch up and stuff, so you understand what I'm talking about. But that's what they're scared of it, because the professional, the real high-tech quantum physics science and stuff like that, they know that esoteric magic is for real. It's just that they can't measure it, and so therefore, if they can't measure it, they're not gonna give it any attention whatsoever. But they know it's real, and so come August and what have you stuff, I could be in real danger, because back in December 2025, I disclosed where in August 2026, temperatures were going to, in the northern valleys of Utah, specifically Salt Lake, are going to reach temperatures of and stuff of 112 degrees Fahrenheit or more. But at least 112 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's going to also include, neighboring states and what have you stuff, like, Nevada and Colorado, and maybe even clear on up into the southern parts of Idaho and Wyoming. The further south you go, it's going to be hotter. But anyway, once that comes to pass, only the willfully ignorant people and what have you stuff are going to push the facts aside. And they're the ones who are going to be suffering the most, because they're not going to be paying attention to how the temperatures and the weather and what have you stuff are playing with the economy. The ones who actually believe and take it serious, they're the ones who are going to be paying more attention in a serious observation, and monitoring it. Sorry, I can't speak today. But anyway, they're going to take it more serious, and they're going to start preparing themselves, because they're going to see the objective evidences in the changing and stuff. When July gets here and what have you stuff, and we're already up into the hundreds, you know what I'm saying, the mid-hundreds, whatever it may be. Here last week, I shot a video on it and posted it, and I think it's on Facebook, but it's definitely on YouTube. It was 106 degrees. That was the sun's temperature. That's not the thermometer directly facing the sun. That's off the side, but out in the sun. That's 106 degrees. You know what I mean? And it was hotter. Woof, it was hot. And it was definitely that. So, but anyway, yeah, so they're shadow bounding me, and because I'm for real. But anyway, love you all. Just get prepared. You know what I mean? Find places, the ones who embrace the noumenal world are going to be the ones who thrive. Because these are people who are having stuff that know places up in the nature and stuff like that, where underground springs pop out and they can get water. They know how to plant, fruits and vegetables, different things, you know what I mean? Harvest crops and hunt and stuff like that. You're the ones who are going to thrive and survive this. The ones who embrace the Qliphoth and the archons, the materialistic world that enslaves us to the corporate elites and the government's monetary metrics, or the archons' monetary metrics, same thing, but basically in nature. Okay, so but anyway, they're the ones who are going to really be suffering, and it's possible they may not make it through it. So, but anyway, blessed be to y'all. Love y'all. Take care. We'll see you again.